Obviously this is very hot. This is twice the boiling point of water, 400 degrees in Fahrenheit about, so they tell me. So always move slowly in a controlled booth, in a controlled manner in the booth. Don't bump into each other. Be careful not to drop anything into the fryers. Make a splash. So in the funnel cake booth, what it's going to look like, there's going to be this fryer, and there's going to be another fryer right next to it. So two giant fryers right next to each other, and you're going to be turning around and putting funnel cakes in different positions. So when you're moving in the booth, you want to be moving in a controlled and slow manner, not freaking out about how many funnel cakes have to be made, whatever. Also, who remembers like firefighters when they like come to your school and do a big presentation about grease fires? Remember that? So obviously you don't put water on a grease fire. You don't put water on a oil fire because it gets really crazy and explodes and everything. So don't put water into the funnel thing or the fryer, please. People that are sick, don't handle the food. Actually, just stay home. Notify me or Chad. There's a phone number on the front of this thing that'll let you know our phone numbers. Wash your hands before handling the food. If there's a fire in the booth, so someone chucked water in there or something's gone on fire, everyone just exit the booth. Don't use, there's a fire extinguisher in the booth, but try not to use it when everyone's in there. There's quite a lot of force or pressure that's built up behind the specific fire extinguisher for the oil, and it could spray oil even more, which is very hot oil. So make sure if there's a fire, everyone just exits the booth and let us know. We should be there. I should be there, or another manager should be there. Any question about health and safety? Okay. So obviously the big one, very hot. Be very careful. Now we're going to be selling two types of funnel cakes. If you have been with us before, we sold small ones, individual, like small on a stick. But this year we're going to be making, like they will take up just a small stick. We're going to be selling jumbo funnel cakes. Ishmael, can we get that sign out of the office? And they are going to take up the entirety of this mold here in this one stick. And we're going to be selling them for about $5, not about, but $5 a piece. Also going to be selling drinks at $3 each, 32 ounces. Hey. Now the volunteer positions in your team, you should have 8 people. And these 8 people, we're going to have 2 window tellers, 1 drink person, 2 fryers, 1 swirl person, 1 topper person, and 1 runner. So the 2 window tellers, if you can imagine this, there's going to be 2 fryers, one next to each other. And right behind us will be 2 people at 2 windows. And they'll be taking orders, receiving cash, and delivering the funnel swirls to people. And they'll take the orders and give them back to them. So those people, you want to make sure they're quite personable and friendly people that can sell something, maybe have done retail before, those sort of people. You got 1 drink prep person, so in between the 2 window people, there will be 1 person doing drinks. And there's going to be like a drink fountain there, and they're going to be selling drinks right there. 2 fryers, if you've handled a fryer before, preferably that would be somebody who wants to be on the fryer. So 2 fryers right next to each other. Someone who's, I don't know, you think can work under pressure reasonably well. Someone who's not really freaking out all the time.
Able to handle burns.
Group leaders, whoever, they'll make the decision who's ever worked around the fryer or fried food before. That'll be your best judgment on that deal.
What's the question?
These things do get hot, and as far as what Luke was saying a while ago, the elbow room, there's not enough elbow room in there. It's tight quarters. You got hot grease. You're going to be slinging food. Funnel cakes. You're going to have grease on those funnel cakes, and those preferably long shorts. You women, men don't wear shorts, tongs, or flip-flops, what I call them, because you will get grease. It's going to be grease, and it's going to be hot. So
yeah.
just be careful because there's an elbow room there too.
So this is we had two fryer guys. Do you have a question, Gary? We got one swirl prep person. So just like we had two window tellers and someone doing drinks in between, we're going to have somebody in between the fryers, and they're going to be preparing the funnel cake. So like on that picture there, that's actually what they're going to look like. They've got, what's that, powdered sugar on it?
Powdered sugar.
So they're going to put powdered sugar and cream cheese on it.
Cream cheese.
And then top up person, and they keep the batter bottles filled. So this is this is the batter for the funnel cakes, and they're going to be going back and forth, making sure these are full for the people frying. And the last person is the runner, so he does general things that we need to get done. Ice bin, soda fountain, taking orders from customers in line, so if there's a really big line, that sort of stuff. And the last thing we're going to hear is just say thank you so much for serving. So thank you guys. We're not finished, but we want to thank you guys for helping out with the funnel cake group. This is a big part of our fundraising for the church here. So any questions about any of this? Okay, who remembers this guy's name? My name is Luke.
The prep person, he's the one he or she's going to be the one that's going to be topping the funnel cakes, whether powdered sugar or cream cheese. It's going to get crazy. You group leaders, once again, somebody with a good memory, because if you go grab an order that's got 6 powdered sugars and I want 4 cream cheese on them, you're going to have, it's going to get crazy in there. And they're going to be, no, that was my order. No, that was my order. And before you know it, they're going to be putting some gloves on. So the prep person is going to actually have to be real good and take those orders and out they come. Because it's going to get crazy. It's going to get busy. Therefore, it's really, tight quarters, I'm sure most of y'all have worked in areas like that before. So you can just imagine what I'm saying here. And just have fun.
Yeah, it can be intimidating to think about, but really it's not that big a deal. So once you get in there and you do a few funnel cakes yourself, it's like, this isn't a big deal.
Safety, once again, that's the reason we went with these. Now, for y'all that wanted, it's going to work the fryers, especially the ones that are going to work the fryers, grab onto these things. That's the reason we put these anti-slip things on there. Last year was our first year at the fair, and we was using gloves. Gloves and grease, don't mix, because you slip, they slip, and they did, and right into the fryers. A lot of people got burned last year. So that's why if you choose to wear gloves, when you grab onto these guys, who's ever doing the fryers, hold on to them. Make sure you got a secured grip on them when you go to making your funnel cakes. Because it's something to think about. That, once something drops, you're going to have grease everywhere.
So we're going to demonstrate how to make a funnel cake, and then you are going to make a funnel cake. All 3.
Just circle the fryer.
Yeah, we have a lot of batter today, so if you're going to try the funnel cake, you're in luck because they're going to be free. So we're going to try and make a funnel cake. You want to come around to the back of the fryer here, or the sides of it, not right behind me because you're running too much. Of course, this is a place where you want to make mistakes. This is a place where you want to just have a go. It's not, no one's perfect on the first go. That was horrible to begin with. So we have some sticks here. These are the official sticks for the dealios. This is the, like I showed you before, this is the mold. So the molds, they sit on top of these little shelves in the oil. And the first thing you do is you get your stick. And there's a little mark, or a little hole in the mold, and you pop your stick in there. Now a few rules of thumb to begin with. You want to make sure when you're putting on your batter that you're going sideways, not long ways, because we want to make it look like a swirl. The other rule of thumb is that when you're going across, I'll show you, you want to make sure that your stream coming out is quite consistent and not too stringy or not too solid. If it's too stringy, it'll end up with like little spider webs and won't look very good, quite crunchy. If it's too solid, you get this big puffy look. It's not really terrible, but it's not really a funnel cake either. So a lot of it really depends on how you put it on to begin with. So after you do 10 or so, it's really easy. But I'll show you how it goes. So I start off coming from the top, coming crossways across my stick, nice and controlled. Like this, and then I'm going to come back over my stick, just covering that stick. Okay, and depending on the heat of the oil, could cook a little bit faster, a little bit slower, depends on time of day as well. Now is also an opportunity for me to, if I notice any holes, I can fill them in right now before it's fully cooked. So if I think it's looking pretty good and it's getting reasonably cooked underneath, it's taken some sort of form, what I'm going to do, slide it off the little shelf here. I might dunk it for a minute, and then take it out of the mold here. Okay, and then when you flip it, you want to get in the middle and roll it over like this.
Golden goodness.
Yeah. So also notice the way the direction I flipped it. I made sure the waves were going long ways. If I flipped it this way, it's possible the waves could, bounce up and hit me. So I can look under here, say, yeah, it's looking pretty good. So that's the ideal. So this funnel cake is actually a lot thicker than it should have been. So notice how it's quite puffy here. Ideally, this top part here is what you want the whole thing to look like. Sort of like that. I'll make another one here just to show you guys are ready.
Wait a second here, Luke. The reason why we wanted to grab also the stick on your second time around your stick is for it to grab a hold of your stick, because if not, it's going to slide one way or the other. And if you noticed, one side is longer than the other one. Always give at least an inch, inch and a half up here at the top, where they can grab it down here at the bottom. For you guys that are going to be doing the prepping, these things are going to be hot. Even the stick is going to be hot. We're going to be in a rush, guys. Trust me. There's going to be a rush, and these guys, they're going to want their funnel cake hot. And when you turn around and give it to the tailors or whoever's working the window, you let them know it's hot. There'll be some napkins or paper towels for they'll just wrap around and give it to them while it's hot. Keep that in mind.
Has anybody tried a funnel cake before? Who hasn't? Who hasn't tried a funnel cake? Everyone has. We're all Americans here.
They're pretty prolific in the U.S., yeah.
All right, yeah.
How many here work
We're
last
just
year?
missing the blue funnel cakes.
Okay.
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
We noticed that the smaller ones, these jumbos, that was something we invented last year. It's something that took off. I mean, they really liked the price for what they got. So that's why we're going to do jumbos this year only.
How much smaller were the other ones?
The size of a hot dog.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's like
As you're cooking, you'll notice that you get little floaties, stuff that's broken off, and you can just chuck them away into there.
One more thing.
Or the-
As you're flipping it
Yeah,
over,
you can use that.
right now, I've noticed last year and I've done it myself where I go underneath. You see what I just did right there? You see what I just did? A lot of people's got a habit of doing that. I noticed that last year, doing that. Grab it from the top. Keep your hands away from the hot grease.
And even if you think your hand's away from it, the hot oil gets in the tongs, and then you'll turn it back, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, I'm burning.
Right in there.
Yeah, and
That's why I just give it a quick, da, da, da.
be mindful of your peers around you, group team around you, because they're going to be quite tight quarters, like you're saying. So don't drop things or make a splash. You want to try and be nice and controlled as you can. This one is more ideal than that one I just did. Notice it's quite consistent stream you can see through there. And so really what we've discovered is that quite a lot matters, or it matters a lot on your pour and how you put it in. So anyone want to have a go at this?